My name's Monique Forestier and I live in the Blue Mountains. I've been climbing for over 20 years. The reason why I love it here is because I have the wilderness on my doorstep and I can go off bushwalking or climbing with my friends at any time. I spend a lot of time hanging around on the cliff faces, and I've just recently found out that there are 5 really rare species of plant that also spend their time hanging around on the cliff faces of the Upper Blue Mountains. Some of these are so rare that they only exist in this part of the world. And for some, there are only a few of them left. We're making a series of micro videos telling the stories of these amazing plants and why they're so special. Please keep your eyes out on social media and share them around with your friends.
I'm Michael Henson and I'm Environmental Scientist for Blue Mountain City Council. Today we're going to be talking about the Dwarf mountain pine, a rare and endangered pine that occurs only in the Upper Blue Mountains, extending along the southern escarpment between Wentworth Falls and Katoomba for a distance of 9 kilometres. Only 755 individuals have been recorded. It is a Gondwana-age plant that occurred at the time that the dinosaurs were roaming Australia, and it has persisted in these areas because it lives in the spray zones of the waterfalls, where the waterfall spray acts like a fire blanket. The dwarf mountain pine grows very slowly and it's got very low reproductive success. It's very vulnerable to damage, weeds coming down from the upper catchment, poor water quality, and bits of it break off readily if it's touched or disturbed. So it's very important that people recognise this plant and are very careful conducting their activities around it.
My name's Daniel, I'm the nursery manager at the Blue Mountains Botanic Gardens, and it's been an amazing opportunity for me to have a look at these plants out in the wild and seeing these natural habitats with so many endemic species in the Blue Mountains itself. So this is Leonie Malak. It's a really special plant. It's endangered, so there's only 450 of these plants left in the wild. It can grow up to 2 metres high. It's only found in a few places, here at Katoomba and Blackheath. To the untrained eye, Leonie looks like all the other Blue Mountain shrubs until it flowers with its distinctive yellow flower heads. You won't find this plant next to any formed walking tracks, but you may accidentally damage it scrambling to a lookout or after a climb and just walking along the cliff top. Because this plant is so difficult to recognise, we're just asking people to stick to the path and please don't pick any flowers or the plant itself and enjoy the great outdoors.
Hello, I'm Lyndall Sullivan. I've been in the Blue Mountains for over 30 years and I just love this environment. This is the Epacris hamiltonii. There's not many of them and they only grow in 3 creek subcatchments, all of which flow into the Growth River Valley of the Upper Blue Mountains. The plant is quite small. It has flowers but only between August and December. It grows in these specialised niches where the groundwater seeps through the sandstone walls of overhangs. It's very vulnerable to being trampled by canyoners and bushwalkers. And the groundwater can be affected by pollution, which can come from the towns like Blackheath that can affect it. Watch where you sit, watch where you climb. It is a special plant and appreciate it, particularly when it's flowering.
Hello, my name's Arthur Henry. I'm a ranger with National Parks and Wildlife Service. Fraser Bowdenii. It's a tiny little plant. It's a very rare plant and there's only about 60 of them in existence. It's really, really hard to find. You can see it sort of blends into all the other plants in this area and it's really, really hard to survey. When it flowers, it's this beautiful little bundle of mauvey pink flowers and it's quite beautiful. It only occurs halfway up the cliffs in these claystone bands. Bushfires can readily kill this plant. People that walk along here see the flowers, it's beautiful, they pick it. Rock climbers could potentially step on it and damage it. So we're asking all of our visitors, appreciate the plant. It's got really beautiful flowers when it's flowering there, but don't take them with you, whatever you do. You could be affecting this species' survival.
G'day, I'm Greg Burke from the Blue Mountains Botanic Garden. I'm below the cliff line here at Blackheath, and above me is the Fletchers Drumstick, an amazing plant with an origin that dates back to the time of Gondwana. It was a time when the climate was warmer and much wetter. Now it's dried out and these plants are restricted to just a few areas along the cliff lines and in moist areas. The plant itself, when it's not in flower, it looks like just about any other plant along the cliff lines here. It has unusual white flowers on the ends of long stalks, which look a bit like drumsticks. There are only about 200 individuals left in the wild, and the main site for this species is here at Govetts Leap. When you're out here in the bush, abseiling, bushwalking or climbing, you might not realise that any footsteps off the main track could impact plants such as these. Please be careful when out in the bush and treat every plant like it's the last.